it's scheduled to be close to 1,000, which, hold on a second. Which is super impressive. Now, as always, it's FOMO, it's a new game. The biggest takeaway I have from the Dragon game so far, this is my biggest takeaway, is that if you do larger wagers, that you level up exponentially faster. So I had 10 windows open and was doing 50 TRXs, and my experience thing was barely moving. Like, it was just like, it was barely even moving. So when I was doing 500s, it was like going, I was getting 1 or 2%. So, you know, if you're trying to get a certain level so you can get those bonuses, that's the other dynamic of it, is that as you level up, every 10, you get more bonus. It mines more, like 5%, 10%, etc. Which the last level, it would be 1,000 level ups, which, oh man, I don't even know, like, if that's gonna be possible, but I'm sure someone will do it. So yeah, and then they had their wheel spin thing, which was 3 times every 24 hours, and several other incentives, some bonuses, the jackpot. So they've got a lot of ways to win on the site. Now, supposedly, this site will bridge off into full RPG games, and you'll be able to do other things with the tokens. And that's kind of the thing, is most of these games are 1 or 2 dimensional, meaning you only perform one action. You attack, you roll the dice. You attack, you roll the dice. Imagine TRX games that are like PlayStation, you know, where there's levels and you beat bosses, and when you beat a boss, you win TRX, you know, or you have to put your TRX in like an arcade machine and then you play it. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different ways you can monetize it. So this is definitely going to be very interesting to see. But this goes back to next level DAPPS. You're going to see a much, much higher complexity and more of like a whole video game team. And, you know, as they tap into this network, I almost think it's going to attract professional video game developers that will merge with the blockchain developers, and you could have different levels. You know, one person could write the smart contract side, the other person's writing the UI, other person's writing the graphics, and then, you know, you're going to get this culmination. You're going to get a totally awesome game out of it, and you know, like I said, brings a lot more legitimacy to the network and the platform. Now, as far as the market goes, we did see a pretty big pullback. There was that whole article about Tether that's under investigation, which, you know, whatever. This stuff always happens. And, you know, that's something else to keep in mind, is whenever there's somebody that's achieving, you know, the champ, there's always someone trying to take the champ down. There's always someone that's going to say bad things about the champ. And that's just the nature of winning. And that's kind of a sign to know that you're going in the right direction. Winning is, it draws out the haters. And yeah, so, but anyways, BTC was down a little bit. The alts were down a little bit. Could we go further? I think so. As we move into the weekend, there could be, you know, another 10-20%. So I would actually consider picking up a little more IOST. It hit a penny, which it went all the way up to 1.7, which is that's pretty awesome. So at a penny, I'm thinking a target of like 0.008 or 0.009, you know, pick up another 50K or so. It's just a good token to have because it's so early. But other than that, have a great weekend. I'm sure there will be more action to come as the debacles in DAPPS unfold. This is CryptoSLO. We're not talking gains, and we're not talking CryptoSLO with more crypto gains. Happy Friday, people. I tell you, talk about craziness in these last few days. I was just in the Telegram. I saw that the Topia came back online and the div pool was wiped out. I mean, it's not funny, obviously, for all the coin holders, but something went and 1.6 million or so TRX poof on a bet. So there's some speculation, maybe a negative overflow error or something. Max bet, not really sure what happened, but stay tuned for updates on Topia. In other news, looks like the Tron node issues have worked themselves out. You can gain access to Bankroll, Bankluck, all those DAPPS, and I know a lot of other DAPPS in the US node were not working properly yesterday, and everybody's freaking out. But this is an important thing. I posted a video on using the smart contract verification site, and I'll actually follow up with a more in-depth one on how to navigate. But basically what happens is if for some reason the UI does not connect to TronLink, you can still interact. You can talk to the DApp by basically using this site. The site, when you put the contract number in, lists all the functions, and you can call these functions, the important functions like reinvest, withdraw, sell, and such like that. So I'll probably do a more in-depth video because I think that's good to do, good to have during these, these when the systems go out, or just having a back door to be able to access your funds in case of an emergency. And I actually, what I do is I take the contract number, put it into the verification system, and then I bookmark it. So if in a pinch I need to quickly access my funds, I know I can go to the verification site and interact with the contract without the UI, regardless if the system's down for maintenance or whatever. Now, as always, do that at your own risk and know what you're doing, but for the most part, it's pretty safe to do that. Like in the video, I withdrew some dividends from the daily, so that's definitely a good thing to go. And I'll stuff flying out on the road. I will definitely get that video out hopefully this weekend. And I had other things going on last weekend. I know I missed Blockhead news for all those that look forward to that, but I'll make sure I'll make it extra thick and juicy this Sunday. I'll probably throw in a lot more of the weekly news. And other things, the Tron Live. Now, after I posted that live stream of the Tron Live slots, we all saw that a big jackpot got hit like 20-30 minutes after launch, and it wiped out the div pool. However, now if you go back, the divs from the slots were looking pretty healthy. When I checked earlier today, it looked like there was about 1 million TRX going to the ante holders. So it definitely looks like these partner DApps are going to support ante holders and reward them for being hodlers. So now, what's my opinion on getting into live? Me personally, I am not a slots expert. I really don't know what to do, but I do know that it chomps down TRX very fast, because it seemed like my balance was always decreasing. So this was more, less, the mining on the slots is a little trickier because you're not controlling the odds. So slots are pinned. Let's say they're pinned to pay out at XXX. It's a slow drain to your wallet. That's how they're designed. But I will say the UI on those slots is, oh man, it's next level. And that brings me to my next point, is with the Dragon Castle launch and these others, I'll tell you, it looks like the devs are really, this next generation of gaming dApps, next level, man, next level. And it kind of sets a new standard. You can't just put a picture of a Bubba Gump shrimp and copy a contract and let it go and hope you make 1 million TRX. I think those days are quickly disappearing. I mean, people want highly interactive graphics, good team support, community support, and yeah, I think like Dragon.io and the Tron slots are pretty legendary. Now, the Casino Live was delayed. That was the whole thing about the human with the digital cards. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but honestly, I'm not too worried about it. I really, TronBet, I'm a longtime holder of Annie, and I'm a little biased to them. I mean, they're the OG, they've been around, and the price has been all over the place, but I think long term, once again, it's about consistency. And if you're invested in those platforms, it needs to keep going. Look what happened with WoW. I mean, it was insanity. And the thing was, I almost bought like 5,000 WoWs, and I was like, no, it makes no sense that this platform is doing so well. It's just miners jumping from one platform to the next, and then they're going to dump the coin. And I guess that's kind of the pattern for a lot of these platforms when they launch, is people, get in, hit it hard, ROI, and then they dump. Happens every time. Which brings me to the Dragon game, the Dragon Castle. Now, when I initially talked about this like 2 or 3 videos ago, I wasn't impressed. I was like, this is like Tron Raider. But they do have a lot of interesting things going on. Number one, the monster changes. It's not always the same monster like Tron Raider, which, keeps people engaged. The divs are really solid. Like I think I've got about 460 DC tokens. That's the castle